Oh man.
Episode 11. That should be saved. Yep, too long.
We on 11 or 12?
You sure we on 12? I thought we stopped at 10.
I don't know. I can't remember. Let me look and see. See, where are we?
I may be wrong. I thought the last one we did was 10. I'm known to be wrong though, so I probably have to go back and
in a blue moon.
I probably have to go back and change all this shit. Who is this nigga I'm talking to? This is Mike. I had that wrong too. Nigga, you been calling me Brian since we started. That ain't my motherfucking name. God, why'd you let me go on with it then? I actually think that we are live, ladies and gentlemen. Hello, guys, and welcome to the Guru and the Whore. We are live on that channel as well as we are on TNN Raw 2, but we're not going to be live on TNN Raw 2 very long. I think you're right. This is episode 12.
Yep.
Oh, crap. We rename it. This episode 12. I'm fucking up.
11, yep. We on 12. 11 was depression.
Yeah,
we on 12.
We'll get that. We're on episode 12, guys, so I'm sorry about that.
9, 10, 11, 12.
Now, we've taken off. It's been off 2 weeks now, right?
Yep.
So I've been off running the world and running into trannies, apparently. And y'all can take that any way you want to. I ain't even gonna try to stop niggas at this point from taking this however they would like. Now the people who are watching on TNN Raw 2, it's gonna go down in a little while. So what you should do is go look in the description box. There's a link to where we are right now. What you guys are seeing is the guys over there on the Guru and the Whore channel talking. And since we haven't been here a while, and the people on TNN Raw 2 may not know, myself and the young man that you see on the screen, we used to call it the Guru and the Whore, and we changed it now to the Ficus and the Whore. As you can see. As you can see, old boy to pull out the ficus in the back and think I was gonna see it. You got to just sneak a ficus on the nigga. You can't do this.
I was lonely, man. I needed somebody these past 2 weeks have been murdered. I done missed y'all so much. I had to get some type of companionship in there.
So he brought the ficus out on us. So the ficus is in the building. So we're gonna ask the ficus throughout the show what it thinks about what we're doing. But we get together once a week on the channel called the Guru and the Whore, and what we do is we try to bring up life situations, life experiences, and just everything that encompasses what we deal with, especially in the relationship arena. And we try to talk about that from the experience of me just being a straight from the hip shooter of a person who's just pretty much done a lot of foul crap in his life. And well, I learned some things from it, and some things I hope that you guys learn from it. But then we have someone who actually takes time out, has an understanding of relationships, and deals with them in a practical manner. And that is the man you see right here. The Relationship Rehab is his YouTube channel, and we call him the Guru here. That's Mr. Brian. Brian, what's going on, bro?
Man, it has been 2 weeks, and I have truly missed y'all, man. I definitely, man, am so glad to be back. I'm fired up. I'm excited. I'm glad that you back. I'm glad that everything went good with you and your babies, and you had a good time with your kids, man. It was awesome to see, and I'm just glad to be with the Soto Nation one more time, man. Let's get it.
Let's get it, man. Okay, you got a chance to see. I don't know how much you watched of me and them niggas pretending to be hoes. What did you think of the whole everything, the Bobby Valentino, the stuff with this person? And I just want to give you something while you talk to me about this. I want you to take a look at your screen there. And while you're taking a look at your screen, I want you to look and just take a look at this. Just take a look at that. That's Aaron McCorkle. That's the nigga that was on my show. That's him / her. looking like a nigga I used to do science projects with. That nigga was hell with the that nigga was hell with the glass pipette. That nigga was hell with the Brunson burner. He was hell. Whoa! That motherfucker was hell with it.
Wow. That's awesome.
That's your boy.
Here's my thing, man. I can't believe this is like just. This has been a clear thing, I guess, from all that I've seen. It's just been a clear thing to me. It's just like, it's real out here, man. And people, you really have to be responsible with who you are associating yourself with. Look at that. Look at that, man. Man, you have to really be careful what you're doing. I mean, I think that from what she initially did with the whole video thing, at the end of the day, she was hooking up with the dude for money and sex, whatever. She was serving up.
Let's stop calling that nigga a she. I fell in that shit. That's a nigga. That's my dog. Listen, he was. There we go. I'm gonna make you offend them too. They gonna come after both of us. I ain't gonna be the only one that they show up in the yard. You too, nigga.
I ain't scared. And it's like the dude was serving it up pretty much, and I guess felt that he could manipulate Bobby Valentino. And when Bobby, I guess, either realized what was going on, unbeknownst to him, or kind of like wanted to go along with it and just didn't really want to know, whatever the case may be, once he was in that situation, all of the whole thing of you trying to hold him hostage with his keys and his socks and shoes and all that crap, you doing that because you trying to come up. Ain't nobody gonna just do that. And they saying, oh, well, I thought he knew and he didn't know. And
thank you.
He didn't know, whatever the case may be. But at the end of the day, that's what he was doing. You was holding the man hostage for bread. You was trying to come up. If you look at the hallway of that motel, you can tell that wasn't a desirable place you want to be.
Yep.
And Bobby should have known better, plain and simple. He not, Bobby Brown or nobody, but he had his moment in the limelight, and something like this is damaging to him, man. Mm-hmm. Plain and simple. And he let it get to that point. You play with fire long enough, you're gonna get burnt.
All right, Guru, I'm gonna put you on spot then.
That's it.
You believe he knew what he was doing off top? You knew that was you believe he knew that was a nigga?
I can't say he 100% believe that he knew, but at the end of the day, being where you at, you basically you in Atlanta. If you gonna get to a room with somebody, there has to be a moment, whether you met her at a club, supermarket, laundromat, I don't care. You have to check and inspect the package. You got to. You have to, because of where you at, you got to let that hand say, yep, we good, we hugging up, we kissing up, whatever. That hand has got to hit the Bermuda Triangle. And you got to see if it's good. Or
what the sad part about that is, if it's a real chick, you might end up going to jail for harassment. Like
I would say this: if you are with a woman, and especially being in Atlanta, knowing how it is, I think if you that close to each other to where y'all about to go to the room or you about to come to her room, whatever the case may be, yes, you walk in the door, you have to be able to explain to her, look, I'm a touchy-feely dude. I just want to, you know what I'm saying? Don't be offended, but I'm gonna touch it. I got to get my Trump on, and I got to. I got to get my Trump on. I'm telling you can learn a thing or two from Trump, man.
Hey, I mean, Trump running around like, what's your boy name? Just grab him in the biscuits.
Put the Humpty on.
But
I'm the one that said just grab him in the biscuit.
But why is it? From your opinion, if you believe, because I believe, here's what I believe, and what I believe don't matter a hill of fucking beans because it changes with information. I just like throwing shit out there to see how right or wrong I am at the end of the fucking test. The nigga sound like a nigga when he speak, but there's a lot of bitches with deep ass voices.
Absolutely,
the nigga got a square.
That was another part. Yep,
the nigga got a square ass face, but I seen a lot of bitches look worse than that nigga right there. Then you deal with you being in Atlanta. But I said the other day, I think it's because black people have become so sex driven that we don't question anything. We just want to have the sex. Do you see any validity in that?
I definitely agree that we oversexed. We are oversexed. It's become a part of our culture, and it's a part of our narrative. It's pushed in the media. It's pushed in the movies, the TV, whatever it is. You look at Instagram, whatever the case may be, it's pushed out there as much as it possibly can be. And we have taken that on, and we don't say anything against it because we think it's all good because we want to live our life and we don't want nobody to tell us what to do. We don't want nobody to judge us. We want to be who we is because don't nobody know our story and ain't nobody walking our shoes.
Question. Why do you think we focus so much on sex instead of success? Because if you think about it, we're not trying to achieve anything as far as men, and usually when we achieve something, it's to get sex. And don't get me wrong, that's the typical thing that a man does in almost all cultures. But men of all cultures also like to be captains of industry. We like to say, look what we've built. Look what we've done. But in our community, it's different. We have more women talking about what they've done. Now, we know they haven't done shit, so they just make up shit. But it seems like more our women are measured by what they built. That motherfucker came on the show and he didn't have enough decency to pretend he might have had an office. Her PR guy. He was sitting in the back of his car. He could have done like Brandon, at least sit up in his room. But
I still have yet to understand that. The people who've done interviews in their car, what is it that your vehicle is providing for you unless you don't have internet? What is it that your vehicle provides for you? You got to go out to your car because you ain't got no signal in the house and you ain't got no internet in your home. If you don't have no internet in your home, that in itself is a problem.
Motherfucker feeling safe as fuck in the car.
$50. You can get internet for $50 a month.
Like, what are they house made out of lead and shit? Like, they worried that somebody outside got some kryptonite and you ain't bringing that shit in my house. It's a nigga with x-ray vision. You ain't gonna look through my house.
I don't get it. My eyebrow, you got to do your interview from the car. My eyebrow is raised already. When I saw him sitting in the car, I was like, hey, here we go. Got another nigga in the car.
Well, that's what I knew. I said, well, I got an instant thing to roast your punk ass on if this goes left. You in your car. Like, I don't understand how people don't get it. Like, here's what you got to do. You got to size up everybody. Let me explain. You tell me if you do this. You got to size up everybody. For a second, you got to realize this could be a nice person or this could be a dick. Just like when you walk into a room, you got to size up the exits. How can I get the fuck out? Just like when you go to the bar, you got to size up. That girl right there might be a tranny. Like, you got to start questioning these things. So what I did was I said, I want to size him up before the show. Just in case shit go left, I'm throwing this right back in your face. Is this something you do, like you size up people and understand if it goes well, we'll go this way. If it doesn't, we're going to go this way.
I have a tactical mind by nature. So I'm always calculating and processing my surroundings and who I'm interacting with. I always do that. And just like you just said, though, which made a great point, being in a club, seeing a chick at the bar, it could be late, it could be dark, and you could be 4 to 6 drinks into your evening. That is all the more reason for you to want to examine the goods. If you in the VIP and you got your chick with you and y'all all up on each other, that is not an abnormal thing to do to check the package. It's not. It is not an abnormal thing to do to check that package. And it's like, even if you was to say, well, man, maybe this person was, what do they call it? Post-op? Yeah. If they post-op and you find out, then you at least can say, well, man, I checked the package and it wasn't nothing there. I didn't know that she used to be whatever. You at least get that in your favor. Now, you still got the voice inflection. You still got the thing to where it's just not, it's very few men that can just totally pull off the woman thing 100%. But you have to do your due diligence, man. In this world today, and especially if you are gonna be in the limelight like that, where something like that can really come back to hurt you, you gotta do your due diligence, man.
Well, I think that might be my problem. I need to start thinking about this too. Young women. I like young women. Do. Old women smell like fish. No, I was kidding. I like I like young women though, because if I'm gonna try to start a family, I like to start one with a young one. But that's the way. They like it. No, that's the way that the young ones can get away with that shit. Do you agree with that? Like, a young man can easily. Boy George used to look like a bitch a little bit when he was young. He just look like an old nigga now. Like, it don't matter what he went through. That man come out your ass when you get old. Like, when you a little young ass boy, you still got your limber shit. You haven't really got into the shit, because they showed a picture of Darko Milicic. I don't know how many of you guys are really into basketball, but Darko Milicic is the answer to a trivia question if someone asks you who got picked after LeBron James and before Carmelo Anthony. And before Dwayne Wade. And before Chris Bosh. It literally was this nigga. It's a white dude named Darko Milicic. He went to the Detroit Pistons. Well, he sucked. I guess they're doing a thing on ESPN about him, and I'd love to be able to see it, of where he is now and what went so wrong about him being a bust. Now, when he came into the league, he weighed like nothing. He was skinny. Motherfucker fat now. You see all these rappers, all these people who used to be slim, when we hit 40, we fucking fat. That belly fat, all that shit, that we lose testosterone and all that, we just turn into goo a lot of times. So I think what happens is, it's easier to spot an older tranny than a younger one. Them little cis-ass niggas running around right now, they barely can grow hair on their face anyway, so it's easy for them to shave that shit off.
That's true, and like I said, I mean, in all fairness and in all reality, do a lot of transsexual men look like black women? Yes, they do. I'm not gonna dispute that. I ain't gonna say, I'm not gonna be one of those guys that say, "Oh man, you supposed to know if that's a dude or not." That's not true. Because in some cases, and you even said this in the other show, in some cases, some of these transsexuals look better than the average black woman.
I've seen it.
That average big burly 2-kid chick, that's in the hood and look like she used to be a linebacker for the Detroit Lions. It's a dude that's maybe 110 or 115 with the yaki shoulder length. You know what I'm saying? He ain't taking it all the way down to the butt to make it look crazy. And with the right clothes on, you will be more inclined to believe his femininity than that other woman that's sitting there breathing hard through her mouth.
Exactly. I showed them, like when I said it, I remember when I was in the airport, I said, let me show y'all this actual bitch over here. And I showed that woman on camera, and that woman looked a fright. Like, that was one of the worst. And somebody fucked that bitch and got a kid with her. So I asked the question of a brother last night, and I know it's a weird question, but I said, what's more gay? Getting caught up by fucking a tranny that looks literally like a woman, or laying up with a woman that looked literally like a man? I'm asking you that question. I mean, you're a married man, so I'm just saying, if you saw a dude with a chick who looked like a dude, or you saw a dude get fooled by a tranny who you knew the motherfucker.
That's what I was about to say. Yeah,
like that motherfucker could have got a lot of
food. Getting the food, absolutely. I would say, hey, to get food would be easier than to say, well, man, did you see her? And
you would have did that.
She looked like she just changed the transmission barehanded. And it's like, you rolling with that. Hey, but the thing is like, you have that there is a window of excuse to where you know what you're dealing with and what you think you're dealing with. And when you have that thought, and that's when your opportunity comes, like I said, you have to package check these days, man. You got to. If you think that you don't, then you fooling yourself.
Right. And I just want to ask you, you could be critical and be honest with me. If you saw the interaction between me, the PR nigga, and me and the nigga that's being represented by P. Because last I checked, PRs for prostitutes, they already had a name. They called them pimps. But but I don't know. This nigga said, I didn't know you needed a license. What, you thought you could just wake up and put PR in front of your name? What, he thought PR meant something like purr?
When he gave you that little nod, when you was like, well, let me ask you this. Do you have your PR license? He kind of gave that nod like, no. I said, okay.
But he made it worse when he said, oh, I didn't know you needed this.
And followed up with, I didn't know that you needed that. I was like, oh, okay. So I know what this is. This is just a nigga that know her, or somebody know her, know him, and said, yeah, you should get him to help you in this, girl. And she was like, you can help me? And he was like, how much you gonna pay me? He was like, I ain't gonna charge you nothing. And she was like, come on. This wasn't nothing but, I mean, at the end of the day, you try to give a lot of respect and an opportunity for somebody who, if they was actually living that truth, if they was actually being 100 with their situation, they could have taken advantage of it and they could have used it to actually prove their case. You offered her a platform to say, hey, if you are really just a transsexual person who is caught up in a bad situation with a dude who has some fame and notoriety, and you want to tell your story, here's your opportunity. And that wasn't her case. That wasn't his case. He wanted to take advantage of the situation and wanted to manipulate Bobby V into coming up off some bread. It all comes down to the money. Now, all of a sudden, you writing a book. When did you just start writing this book?
Yeah, you just been a tranny for how long? How long the motherfucker been a tranny? For what? Said 10 months.
Who's the publisher of this book? What is this book about? And where does Bobby V fit into all of this?
Your 10 months. Your 10 months of lying to a nigga.
There you go. You playing and this is my point. If I was a transgender person, I would be highly upset.
Thank you.
Because what this person is doing
is making it hard.
They are playing around with what it is that you all are trying to solidify, and what you all are trying to get is understanding from and acceptance from society. This person's playing games.
Mm-hmm.
They playing games.
Obvious ones, horrible ones. Again, when they can sit up there, and for all the people watching, do me a favor. This is going to go down in a little while. There is a link in the description box that will send you to the actual channel where we will be talking, having actual conversations with the people from the phone. So if you want to be a part of that, you must click the link in the description box or click the link I keep putting inside of the comment section, because this will go down right when the phone, you guys are going to be like, hey, I want to hear the phone calls. Well, you're going to miss it, because right when it gets ready to go to the phone lines, we're going to have to go over to the other channel. So I'm going to need you guys to go over there if you can. All right. So we had this training, and now we have a question that I want to ask you. Do you think we as Americans are being forced to accept and celebrate the gay and transgender lifestyle? Because I want to send you something that this pussy ass nigga sent me after the show, because you know he like a hoe, he like a woman, so he couldn't just leave the interview alone. He continued to send me messages afterwards till I had to block his bitch ass. But before I blocked him, I'm gonna let you guys, and I'm probably gonna copy this and put it on. Matter of fact, let me go and copy it now and put it on my website. So before I fuck around and forget, put the whole conversation up there, because the nigga called me from an unknown number. Y'all know I don't do that shit. Right. I was like, who know who the fuck you are, man? I'm not answering this fucking phone. So he sent me a text and was like, this old cis ass nigga, and I want to talk to you about this other cis ass nigga that I represent. And finally I was like, okay, what's up? I regret to inform you that she's not going to be able to come on the show. I said, I regret to inform you that I'm going to sue the fuck out both y'all for my motherfucking money. I said, it was what it was. It was pretty simple. I'm going to put up I called that motherfucker, cussed him out, said all kind of shit to him when he was talking to me, and told him he had no choice. Either the bitch come on the show or you come on the show. You do what you got to do. So he said he'll come on the show. All right. But when he got done talking to me, I'm going to read it verbatim. Look it up, nigga. Nah, that should be a simple one.
Yeah, I got that.
Let's see. Let's see what he wrote. Let me start right there. First thing he put was a bunch of hand claps. Then put, great job, Mr. Harris. You showed your class tonight, sir. And I said, and I got paid off both of y'all. I'm good at what I do, nigga. You might can learn a few things or two. Now take your gay ass on somewhere before I ruin you and your client's entire life. Don't test Mr. Harris. And then I put, as a matter of fact, fuck it, I'm gonna have fun fucking with y'all anyway. Then he wrote, as I said, class, because you clearly don't have any. The LGBTQ community will see your show tonight. Just want you to know. And I said, sir, why you still texting Mr. Harris? Before you were Googling me, you didn't bring up your boy's worth. I'm not trying to scare you, nigga. I'm blocking you. Bye. Next time, do your research. And he put, I don't care how much if I don't care if I made no money. Who cares? All your berating and all that yelling like you top dog or something, that don't scare me. Then he continues on. You baited me on that show to try to get your rocks off because you felt like my client got over on you. That's not my fault, Mr. Harris. I'm sure Miss Harris didn't raise you to be like you are, but you are bloodsucker. You feed off of political right to fund you to talk like you do.
Wait a minute. Why did you give this dude the Gazoo voice from Flintstone? Hello, dum-dums.
There's cis ass niggas talking. This nigga like a gay ass Jazzy Jeff right before he got thrown out the house. He don't mix on the ones and twos on the turntables. He do it on the ones and twos of your nuts. That's what he do.
Hello, dum-dums. Yes.
Just like a hoe. You still texting a nigga.
You have class. Oh my God.
I shouldn't have to block you. But he tried to threaten me with the LGBTQ, XYZ, BBQ, BLT community. Like, first off, anybody that's watching, if you are gay, transsexual, or bi, fuck you. Bye. You can leave. I don't really give a shit. I don't care about you. I don't give a shit about black women. I don't give a shit about black dudes. I don't give a shit about none of you motherfuckers. My opinion is my opinion. If you don't like it, go suck a dick. But then that's an invite to a good time for many of them. But the point is, I don't care. I don't run for office. And if I ran for office, I'd be like Donald Trump. I think that's why I voted for Donald Trump. Because we need somebody that we're not going to sit up there and bring up every damn thing they did, and therefore that precludes them from being able to do something. That don't mean that I believe Donald Trump is a great candidate, because I do not. But the point is, we got to start looking past this dumb shit of you saying, I'm going to scare you with the LGBTQ. How many LGBTQ motherfuckers I've seen in my shirt that I done seen walk up to me when I'm in public talking about I love your show. So I don't give a shit. You can't scare me like that. What are they going to do? Boycott my neighborhood? Right. Boycott my car? Boycott my daughter's... I don't get it.
I guess the thing is that the LBGT community, they are trying to establish themselves and they're trying to fight for their rights. That's fine, whatever you're going to do. However, the only problem that I have is when someone who doesn't embrace or support what you do, they are instantaneously your enemy and they are against you. They're some type of phobe and they are some type of, they're the worst person in the world because they won't support and ride with your agenda. That is my issue as far as if this is what you want to do, if you want to fight for your rights and everybody, that's fine. But if I don't choose to participate or support that, then so be it. That doesn't mean I'm your enemy.
Amen.
But it damn sure doesn't make me your friend or your supporter neither. You do you, and whatever you feel is comfortable for you to live your life, that's fine. But you can't force me to go along with you. And if I don't, then I'm the problem and I'm the bad person. I'm bashing you because I don't support you. That's insane. You have to be able to respect, just like you want people to respect who you are and what it is that you do. You have to demonstrate that more so than the other, because you need to get people to understand that, hey, if I can do it and I can kill them with kindness, then they will understand my perspective. Why they will be more inclined to understand my perspective. Yeah, and I don't think that they do that. They have this thing just like with that with the Lil Duval thing. Lil Duval made a natural statement. He didn't not one time say, I'm coming against every tranny that's out there. If you trick me, I'm going to kill you. That is not what he said. They took what he said out of context and they used it to try to support their platform and their agenda to say, yeah, he bashing us. He can't say that. That's a hate crime. And that is not what he said. In the context in which he was speaking, it was just like you say, well, man, if somebody come up in my crib and try to take my shit, I'm going to kill him.
Yep.
Same exact thing. Not saying that I'm about to go out here and look for somebody to come into my house and break in so I can kill them. I'm just giving you how I feel about the situation. That's it.
And wouldn't it make it even more funny if now you had the burglars protesters of America now coming out
right
after you said that burglars lives matter?
Please coming to your house. You know what you said was insensitive, and it was definitely an attack against us, and you bashing us just because we used to steal. Don't mean you got the right to kill us. Okay, come on in here and tell me that. You know uninvited.
and so before we even get to the phone lines, and everybody, if you're watching on TNN Raw 2, I've shut down the comment section now, and then I'm about to shut down the entire show if you don't go and click the link in the description box, because apparently no matter how many times I put the link in there, you guys weren't going to go click it anyway, so fuck you. But the show will stop in a minute. It's weird. I keep telling them, go over to the other place if you want to see your comments. And it's like they just ignore it. And one of them told me, why are you spamming the comment section? I definitely turned it off. Then this nigga told me I was spamming my own shit. I'm trying to tell you where the fuck to go. If you want to continue talking, leave here, go there. It's a simple click of a button. They would rather sit there and talk and keep just running their motherfucking mouth for hours instead of just doing the same thing I told them to do. Go click the link in the description box, and you can go and have fun. So fuck them. You want to be stupid?
To my TNN Raw 2 subscribers, I implore you, if you are watching by computer or by phone, by tablet, whatever the case may be, get to a computer where you can type or some device where you can type. Subscribe to the Guru and the Whore channel so you won't be left out, people. I want you over here. I need y'all to come over here so that we can all be together in this adventure that we're going on.
Right.
Get your punk ass off the damn channel and get over to the other one.
It's a weird thing. I know you like TNN Raw 2. I like TNN Raw 2. I know it's fun, but we're not doing that over there tonight. That's not what we're doing over there. We're doing it over here. I'm just coming over here to try to give you guys a heads up on what we are doing over here. You know, it's kind of like when you watch TNT and they do a commercial, be like, on TBS, we're going to have Seinfeld on at 10:30. You don't keep on watching TNT if you want to watch it. Yeah, you would. Where's Seinfeld? It's on TBS, you dumb bastard.
He said, where's Seinfeld? We told you it was going to be, man. Oh, wow.
So let me ask you a question. I'm going to ask you the question, then we're going to go to the phone lines. We got the people on the phone lines. Guys on the line, welcome. We'll be with you guys in just a second. And for those who'd like to come in and talk on this situation, even if you didn't get on last night, whatever you'd like to talk about, you can talk with us on this situation. I'm going to ask you, do you believe that Americans are being forced to not only accept, but to celebrate the gay and transsexual lifestyles?
Absolutely. I believe that the agenda is being forced upon society. And it's at such a rate that they are clearly drawing a line in the sand to basically, and I'm going to use some of their terminology, they are shaming masculinity. They are shaming straight men. They are shaming them because if they aren't supporting what it is that they want to do, then you are the enemy, you are the problem, and you are what's wrong with America. And at the end of the day, that is bullying, as they call it. That's bashing, and that is shaming based on their own logic.
Why do you think they can get away with that? Because, see, it's not them. It's the people who put them in front of us. Meaning, if you put killers on camera enough, but baseball figured it out. Remember, baseball said, well, if these people keep running out there on the field, we're just going to stop filming them. We're not going to give them the pub they're looking for. If you're going to run out on the damn field and act a jackass, we're going to turn the camera somewhere else and not show it. Why is it that we have a situation where we have this constant barrage of, if you say you don't want your kid to be gay, you're a homophobe. If you say you don't think that lesbian couples should adopt children, you're a homophobe. If you say you don't want to see men dressed up like females, you then are a transphobe. They got a new, they put the word phobe at the end of shit that no one fears.
Yes.
Number one. We live in a society where they're trying to use words that we already know against us because these words evoke things. That's why they say bash. They say this to stop you from saying something that they don't like or that they don't want the world to know. We have an actual tranny who is trying to fool people by dressing up like the average ghetto whore and still trying to sell you that they are proud of who they are. You cannot be proud of who you are when you completely changed who you are. Why is this considered bashing or anything in a negative light when it is the truth? Because if we were talking about true self-hate, remember they called me a self-hater for talking about black women, and I'm not a black woman. But these black men are turning themselves into black women. They're changing everything about their masculinity, and no one's calling it self-hate. Why?
If they were to call it self-hate, then they would be the ones that people would say, well, they're the problem. They have the problem, and they're the ones that need the help. If they can say that if you don't embrace who I am and what I am, and I don't even know what I am or who I am, but if you could just embrace me for being me the way I am on today, then I don't have to accept responsibility for what it is that I'm choosing to be or may be confused about being. And then therefore it puts the onus on you. And that plays to my advantage. It gives me complete autonomy to do whatever it is that I want to do and to behave any way I want to behave if the responsibility is not on me. So I can come up today and say, well, you know what? From this point on today, I'm going to be a black gay male. I like men. Tomorrow, I can say, well, you know what? I am not only a black gay man, but I'm also a cross-dresser. I like to dress up in women's clothing. The day after that, I can say, well, you know what? Not only do I want to wear these clothes, I also want to have breasts like a woman. I want to still keep my genitalia, but I want breasts like a woman. And the day after that, I can say, well, now I think that I want to have female genitalia. I want to get a gender reassignment. And through all of that change in those over those days, no one is going to question what this person does because they're going to say, oh, well, this person's trying to figure out who they are and what they want to be. We have a problem challenging each other on what it is we decide and what we think. Because at the end of the day, if that's somebody who's making those type of changes and nobody's questioning them, then that person may be in crisis. That person in trouble and may be mentally unstable. And if you don't question that and you just condone it, then you just perpetuating that person's demise possibly. Because after all of that, I could still change up, make all of those changes. And the day after that, I could be like, I totally hate myself and what I've become. And now I'm going to commit suicide.
Let me say this to you. And I know there's some people in the audience, and maybe you too, will agree with me. It's harder to get your flight reassigned than it is to get your damn gender reassigned. Nigga, I tried to get my flight changed. They told me it was $250. I said, fuck it, I'll make the flight. This is stupid. The ticket was number $300. Why is it going to cost me $250 to change to the next damn flight?
It's harder to find out what the charges are on my cable bill than it is to reassign my gender.
It was harder for me to switch. It was harder for me to switch from Sprint to motherfucking Verizon.
I spent more time getting my number ported over to another carrier than I did getting my gender reassigned. I had more trouble checking my rental car back in. I did get my gender reassigned.
Motherfucker, I had a hard time taking the damn shirt that I bought that was too small back to the store to get that changed than it was to get motherfucking sex change. This is stupid. I can name so many things it's hard to get changed.
It's harder to return something with no receipt.
Right?
Than it is get your gender reassigned.
And that's a damn shame. And everybody, again, if you're watching it on TNN Raw 2, you gotta stop watching it on TNN Raw 2. The numbers keep going up. I don't get it. I done turned the comment section off, and it's still going up. What are they doing? What is so great about watching it over there? I don't get it. It's still YouTube.
They loyal to the TNN Raw too, man.
Like, fuck that other channel. We don't know what's going on over there. It's harder to get niggas to switch from TNN Raw 2 to the Guru and the Whore than it is to get a nigga sex change. This is stupid.
Oh my God. It's harder to get a nigga to click the like button.
Right.
than it is to get a gender reassignment. It is. Yep. It is.
See, it's harder. So I say it's harder to change a light bulb than change your sex. Listen, it is harder to change your oil. That shit is difficult. I got up on the car one time. I said, there's too much shit up under here. Let me get on up out of here. I was at that scared. I kept thinking about the movie Final Destination. This motherfucker gonna fall on my face.
Let me drive this damn car over to Jiffy Lube and get that take care of this.
So look, here's what I'm gonna do. If y'all watching it over there on TNN Raw 2, I'm about to shut it down. I'm literally about to shut it down right now as we go to the phone lines, and we're going to talk to the people on the phones. And since you guys don't want to listen and you don't want to go over to the channel inside of the description box, then I say I bid you an adieu. Good night.
Fare thee well.
You know, baby, yes. You guys can have a great day. I know I have more people over there than over here, but there's a reason why we have this channel. If you're not going to support the channel, that's great. Wait on the news then, and I'll see you there.
Y'all niggas at 6 in the morning.
You know what I'm saying? Auf Wiedersehen.
I didn't even know you.
You know what I'm saying? You can hit the link in the description box, or you can wait. It's up to you. Bye-bye. And now we're back. Okay. So you and I are here, and I say, look, Americans are being forced this shit because I think you have every right to look at something and realize, you know what, I'm not comfortable with that. Doesn't mean you have to do it.
Right.
You're just telling the people, look, I'm not comfortable with that. That's all. And it seems like they don't want you to say you're not comfortable with that, but we can say we're uncomfortable with anything else. Like this man tried to tell me I'm playing the black community. Well, nobody's playing the black community other than that bitch you representing. And the fact that you represent somebody who wouldn't even tell you the damn truth. She got paid for something she didn't do. Your ass came on my show for free, you idiot.
Yep.
Like like you taking up for somebody, and then that person doesn't realize well, we saw the mugshots. So that nigga is already used to being a scam artist. And you know what's the funny thing about this? A lot of those trannies have that exact same background. And you know what I'm talking about. Fraud, theft.
Yep.
Rebecca sent me the stuff about how the poverty levels that a lot of them live in. You are the amount of times they kill themselves once they get these gender reassignment things done. Why is it that we don't talk about that? The American system, the Americans won't bring up. These people are a bit unstable. Why won't they bring that up?
It's the whole idea of just saying it's easier to keep the drama going and to keep it, you know, to where there's more back and forth and have people focused on just the social acceptance part of things as opposed to focusing on the reality of what it is these people are going through. Do I think it's more important to focus on the real objective of what it is that the LGBT community is trying to achieve? I do. However, I think that they let so much nonsense and drama actually propel their agenda that it makes it weak. It makes it to where you don't take it serious. And because, I mean, at the end of the day, there was a time where being gay was a super secretive thing. There was a time to where you would, get, ridiculed and beat, and there was no real place for homosexuals to go or to be, or where they could live in peace. There was a time for that. Mm-hmm. And a lot of those, I would say more so the conservative homosexuals, they were the ones who actually were smart, made a way for themselves, created their own communities, lived together, lived in the same area. They were the ones that built that. And over time, I think that the more flamboyant ones, the ones that were more, into the whole, I guess, the fanfare or the attention aspect of it, I think that they're the ones that kind of like diluted their whole mission and their whole agenda. And it went from being to where you had a group of people that were actually trying to fight for their own piece of the American pie to now it's just a movement where people have an agenda to where if you ain't with this, then you less than. If you ain't with us, then you are against us. And I think that is the problem that we have, to where that line is so blurred, and it's like you got to choose one side or the other, and you're not going to force me to support something just so I won't get ridiculed or talked about or be looked at as a bad guy.
I think the flamboyant gays, right? I'm a black male, so I don't give a shit what you say. You can't blackmail a black male.
Right, exactly. You can't, especially about something like that. You can't.
That's gonna be my new shirt. You can't blackmail a black male.
A black male. I tell you,
what you gonna say about a nigga that ain't already been said?
What can you do? Like in Rocky V, he was like, "Touch me and I'll sue." Rocky stole like I said, and I ain't get nothing.
You know what I'm saying? For what? You know what I'm saying? For what? But here's what I say. I say the flamboyant gays are the niggas of the homosexuality community. Think about it. You just stated. You said the regular gays went to work every day. They built their own damn communities. They built, like in Atlanta, you had them. They built the whole Midtown. It ended up being nothing but gays, but you didn't know it. They got their money right. They did their damn thing. They were regular damn people. They're just niggas that like niggas and hoes that like hoes. That's what it was. They weren't going around trying to burst on the damn scene and fuck with you. But the flamboyant gays are like niggas. See, blacks just wanted to work. We didn't want to be white. We just wanted to be able to have the same shit that they had amongst our own people. We didn't really give a shit. We weren't trying to be white. We just didn't want to get fucked with. We wanted to build our own stuff. The niggas are the ones that's going around hollering Black Lives Matter. You know them, the notorious yard apes. They running around. They're the ones making the most noise. It's the same thing with the flamboyant ones. They're the ones walking around in fucking thongs in the middle of the fucking street with a flag waving it just to let you know. Like, it has nothing to do with your homosexuality, but you're the ones who are trying to fuck it up for the ones who are normal. Well, how would you agree? Would you view that assessment?
I would definitely agree with that, and I believe that the reason why is because of how they are raised and brought into that lifestyle. Mm-hmm. So it's like when you have purpose, when you have goals, and you have some type of foundation to where the path that you want to take to be something in life aside from being a gay man or a lesbian woman, whatever the case may be. You have a certain there's a certain, I guess, reservedness that you're conservative, but you're smart. You have a plan that you take to say, this is what I'm going to do and this is what I'm going to be so that I can achieve this goal. I'm not just going to scream and shout and say, oh yeah, this is me. Look at me. Give me what I want. Give me. And I'm going to throw a temper tantrum until I get it. You're not going to do that. You're going to be willing to work hard. You're going to be willing to follow the rules and follow the path you need to take to get to where you want to go. And when you have a bunch of, like you said, when you look at a lot of these trannies, especially the black ones, they are just doing whatever they're doing because they're trying to come up. They're trying to come up. It's like that chick that we talking about with Bobby Valentino. That's nothing but a man who is now living his life as a woman and is still a broke bitch trying to make it.
A broke ass nigga.
Call it what you want to call it. But at the end of the day, what does she do? Does she have a career? Does she have a life to where she's taking care of herself? No, she's trying to come up, which is why she was trying to blackmail the dude in the first place. So it's like you still, at the end of the day, in the midst of you coming into your own sexuality and identity, you're still not able to take care of yourself and provide for yourself. You trying to come up on somebody else's dime. You don't have a career, or you trying to be a so-called model.
Yeah, they killed me with that. Ladies and gentlemen, if you could, go ahead and click the like button and subscribe to the Guru and the Horde. This is a channel in which You don't have to hear my opinion all the time. You get to hear someone who actually thinks before they speak instead of listening to someone who has to fuck around and apologize at the end of the damn day. But you ready to go to the phone lines, bro?
Hell to the yes.
All right, guys, you see the topic on the table? We're going to bring you guys in right now. We're going to start with 914. 914, you're on the air. Talk to us. What's on your mind, player?
Hey, Tommy, I want to just give you some information. In
Hold
1994, Roseanne had an episode where there was some gay stuff going on, and then Ellen did in 97.
Well, hold on.
Hold on. Mm-hmm. This is the 12th show. And y'all ain't coming on this phone line no more without speaking to me like I'm not in existence. Tommy is here, and so is Brad.
Sorry.
Damn it!
This is an us show,
and I don't really talk to people I don't know.
Well, this is an us show. Say, hey guys. Oh, you know something.
There you go.
Hi guys.
There you go.
Hi guys.
There it is. What's happening?
Okay, so in 1998, when Will and Grace came out, if you notice, one of the characters was really promiscuous, and the other one was really neurotic. Why now, all of a sudden, except for like the Love and Hip Hops, you have a show called I Am Jazz, where it's like a teen girl who's, well, she's a boy, but she's transitioning to a girl. And this is on the Discovery Channel. Then there's a show that has like Vanessa Williams, and there's a little boy who wants to be a girl, and they call him Ella. So you're right. They're gradually pushing it on us that we see it, and then we don't think about it.
Yep.
It's just another group of people.
I agree. I think that, and here's the thing too. One of the things that we always tend to talk about and we look at is the media and how we are portrayed in the media and the narrative of black people, period, in the media. You have to realize that even when it comes to, and you'll have people that are arguing and say, well, they do things and they show white people doing certain stuff too in the media and on TV and in movies. That's true to a degree, but it's more so pushed harder for people of color. However, you cannot control the media. And that is why you need to have both parents at home so that you can have somebody who can tell that child or that young person that's watching this stuff that they're seeing on TV that they're going to be exposed to no matter what. You can have somebody who is of sound mind who can say, you know what you just saw on television, that's just TV. That is not real life. That is not what you want to be. That is not your image that you need to go after.
It's marketed to adults because they're going to watch the Vanessa Williams show. A young child is not. What they're going to do is try to separate the family and first get the parents, because I think it was last night, Tommy, you were asking people, was single motherhood leading to it? And at first I was like, no. But then as I really thought about it overnight, I'm like, yeah, it kind of is.
Yep.
It really is, because if you start separating the parent and the child and you make the parents less responsible, they're not going to instill anything in their kids, which they're not at this point anyway.
And you see what they're doing you see what they're doing to the dads. I'm going to ask both of you guys. You see what they're doing to the dads in these shows. My girl Caitlin just said with the cartoons, they're making the dads gay. If you watch the shows, what do you see? You see the dad is either really effeminate, but he's getting run over and he's some type of idiot. I'm telling you guys, in my opinion, there's an attack on masculinity. I'll go with the caller, then I'll go with you, Brian.
But they've always been doing that. I mean, in the sitcoms, like the dad was always like a bumbling idiot back to Married with Children. So I just think, and I'm going to say it, like, Tommy, we talk all the time. I am very much for men's rights, but I can't say that I look at men and go, oh, I have a lot of respect for them. And I don't know if it's because of the age that I'm in or what was like instilled in me through life, Sometimes I just look at men like they're just a useless distraction, but you need them. And I think most women at this point feel that way.
Wow. That is deep. Say something.
So there's a show on Disney. I don't know if those of you who are parents who have little kids will know. It's a show called Doc McStuffins. And what Doc McStuffins is, it's a little girl who is a doctor for stuffed animals and little toys, and she fixes toys or whatever. Her mom is a real doctor. Her grandma is a real doctor. her dad is a stay-at-home dad that takes care of the kids pretty much. So it's like that image that a child gets at, we're talking 3 and 4 years old, they see that as that's what a dad does. He stays at home and he takes care, makes sure Doc doesn't hurt herself, while meanwhile Doc is like following in the line of her mother and her mother before her to become a doctor at the end of the day. So it's like, what does that say to the little boy who watches Doc McStuffins? What does that say to him as a little boy is to, you should strive to be this. And the problem with that is that when that's all you see, because there are going to be women who are going to say, well, see, now you hating on women and you trying to hold back women and what women do. Well, no, there's no balance. And that's the problem with our children being exposed to media. So you have to be there. And like, I love the fact that my daughter can watch Dr. McStuffins and see a little black girl being a doctor. But at the end of the day, she has the image of her father at home who goes out and he works and he takes care of the house and he's the head of the household. So she knows Dr. McStuffins is entertaining, but daddy is real. That's the difference.
Well, I agree with everything you said, and I don't think there's anything wrong with stay-at-home fathers if that's what they want to do. So I don't think that's really bad. But I'm not really big on cartoons because
I think that's a problem. But here's why I think it's a problem.
Disney stuff.
Here's why I think it's a problem, though, because it's a problem because it's the only image. It's the only image. You tell me or show me a black father of prominence that is on TV. Show me one.
They destroyed really the only one that there was at one point.
Yep.
They destroyed him.
Exactly.
And at 70, 80, however old he is,
80.
I mean, they destroyed him.
But here's the thing. So yeah, they destroyed his image of, as you know, today. How many of us will have our children watching The Cosby Show, though? Because his shows are still around. You can still buy his seasons. But why won't we show our children that as opposed to letting them see the nonsense that's on CNN about something that happened 30 years ago that actually has no statute to even prosecute?
I will give you a perfect example. I did a video about looking in the mirror. You look in the comment section and you see people saying how they don't even like me, but that was a great video. You need to do more videos like this. I did that video while I was at the hotel. That video has 12,000 views on it in 4 days or 3 days. I think it's 3 or 4 days. The video I did after that was about the black woman who was walking away from the camera with her ass. That video has 70,000 views. Now, the ones you tell me that I need to stop doing because I'm bashing black women got 70,000 views. The one that you tell me I need to start doing more of because that shows the other side of you had 12,000 views. We keep complaining about what we're being fed, but we only eat the bullshit, never the vegetables and the fruits. So whose fault is it really? And I'll ask the question for you last before I let you go, and then I'm going to go to Brian again. Whose fault is it really that we're getting fed shit? The people who continue to eat and demand the shit, or the people who serve the shit?
You who consume the shit. You don't have to. If you really don't agree with something, you shouldn't use it. Like, you're the hypocrite then.
Yep.
I don't really watch any TV. I just don't. Because I don't like most of what's on. I really don't. So I don't watch a lot of TV. I'll catch things once in a while when I'm cleaning, but I don't watch it, and then I don't really listen to shows that I don't like. I just don't. And can I just also say, I want to thank you for the Colin Kirkpatrick thing earlier, if that's how you pronounce his name, because you were right.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of his like that. I just believe that what they're doing is wrong. No, right. I was saying I want more people to view it as, why do you have to be a fan of someone to try and see where they're coming from? I don't like where America is. We're all broken down into factions. If you're black, you're supposed to back a black person. If you're white, you're supposed to back a white person. If you're Irish, you're supposed to back an Irish person. Yes, you're supposed to have pride in someone that looks or maybe has the same interest as you. I like to see nerds do well. I like to see dark-skinned black men do well. But I'm not going to sit up there and watch a dark-skinned black male kill 18 people and say, well, I'm going to make it difficult to put him in jail because he's dark-skinned like me. Why do you think so many of us do that? We play schoolyard politics throughout life.
Well, the only thing that I really do want to say about that is that, remember, for Vietnam, people were drafted. They didn't go into the military because they wanted to. And if we ever get into another war, people will be drafted. So I think if you really fought for him to have the freedom to speak what he wants to speak, then you have to honor it and don't bullshit us and lie, because then that's not really what you did.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really think a lot of soldiers, at least the people who fought in World War I, I think World War I people are dead, but World War II people, I don't really think care at this point. Do you?
Talk to most military vets, and this is why I have no problem having a stance. Most military vets are pissed that the American public pretends that they give a shit about people standing up and putting their heart over their hands for that flag. Because guess what most of those vets are dealing with right now? The inability to get health care, the inability to get homes, the inability to just get loans, the inability to get jobs. So you think they give a shit that you're not doing that? They believe if you really gave a crap, what you'd be doing is trying to help them in their everyday life instead of having this false damn sense of you speak for them.
And that's why I wanted to say thank you to you, because people needed to hear that. And I don't know if it was just white people who had a problem with it or whoever, but people needed to hear that. You know what? Standing up is bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
It's what you actually do.
Yep.
And so I just wanted to thank you for that. That was really important to me to say thank you. You were really upset, but I wanted to thank you that at least you took it there and you had very good points.
Well, thank you. It was really
very difficult. And
if
people can't take it, fuck them.
Yeah, it was difficult for me to do it because I was so sad. I was so sad. But thank you for the phone call. I'm going to go back to you, Brian.
I guess my thing, for as far as Cap goes, I don't like what Colin Kaepernick supports. I don't, because I'm not a Black Lives Matter guy. I'm not that guy. I don't like that movement at the end of the day. However, I don't think that dude needs to lose his job and can't play football because somebody doesn't like the way he protested. Because at the end of the day, those people that burn their bras and the American flag back in the 60s, those people didn't lose their jobs, and those people weren't prosecuted to no end and punished to no end because they disagreed with what the country was doing when the country was at war. That's insane to where we are still in this day and age, some 40, almost 50 years later, 50 years later, we still are making people suffer in that way to try to prove a point, because all they're doing is they're just trying to punish. It's just like with Michael Vick. They're punishing him. You know what I'm saying? And it's like you are punishing a dude with his livelihood and how he lives and feeds his family. I will never, ever condone that. I just never will.
Nope. Now, again, I'm not a Kaepernick fan like that. I think that a lot of the shit he did, I'm with you, Brian, is bullshit. The fact that he was so willing to stand up for the black cause when he had lost his job. People keep forgetting. He had lost his job and he was starting to suck. That's why it was easy for him to take a stand. Last year when he was starting to play well, you know what he did? Backtracked on his stance. Because he wanted a job. So at the end of the day, I think he still went about it in a way that wasn't that disruptive. And I think there are way more bad elements that you have on your team. And for all of the white people who kept trying to say he cost the NFL money, he had the #1 selling jersey last year. So that's why I kept blocking people. You're lying. He had the #1 selling jersey. He was on a shitty team, a horrible team. So at the end of the day, he still put up good numbers on a bad team when they got white quarterbacks like Kirkpatrick or whatever that white boy named, the one from Harvard. He was actually on a good team, and he put up bad numbers.
And man, there is nobody that can say that Colin Kaepernick is not at. He's at the very least an average quarterback.
He better than the motherfucker y'all had. He better than both quarterbacks y'all had.
I was just gonna say, Jay Cutler is probably the worst quarterback of all time in my book, because I've never seen somebody who has talent and no heart and plays the game of football in that position.
Yeah.
Never seen it before. Never seen it before.
But they couldn't get him out of the damn starting lineup.
And we paid him an insane amount of money, and he went on the field and showed you, like, man, I ain't playing this game. I'm getting this check. He showed you that week in and week out, that he didn't give a rat's ass about leading those other guys on that team and about winning football games. He got a check because he had some talent, but he had no heart. And to say that he can still play in this league and you gonna keep cap out? Come on, man. That's crazy.
Right, exactly. Let's see if we can go and bring some more phone calls in. 910, caller, you're on the air. Talk to us. 910.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right, I had to unmute you, man. I keep myself on mute so I don't give you too much feedback, man.
Cool beans. Talk to us.
Appreciate that.
So, as much as I hate to say it, man, I got to agree on the topic title, man. And it's a agenda that's being shoved down everybody's throats. The adults, the people in college, the high schoolers, the middle school people, all the way down to elementary school. It's been that way for so long, but they've got more, what's the word? They don't care anymore. They do it to our face, and there's nothing that we can really say about it at this point.
Well, let me ask you this. You say there's nothing we can really say about it. But, like everything else, they're testing to see if we'll fight back. They're also pushing us to see if we'll fight back. Here's my thoughts on this, and I'll get you guys' thoughts on it. I think the government is pushing a race war, a gender war, and a class war. I think all three are being pushed because the government does not want you to pay attention to the shit that they're doing to the people themselves.
Absolutely. It's like it's like this, man.
Before today, I wouldn't agree with you. I would say, man, you're full of it, man. You've been drinking, you've been smoking, you're on some shit. I see more of it now as becoming a growing adult. You know what I'm saying? Like things that our parents used to tell us when we were little, it's one of those cases where it's making more sense now.
You look at it like this. This is what the world is about. It's about two things: the haves and the have-nots. We are so focused on a bunch of people and a group of people. All of our beefs are with people that really don't have too much of anything, if anything at all. And we're so busy fighting in that circle that the super elite rich, that 1%, the ones that are pulling all of the strings, that are in control, they are the ones that's like, yeah, let's keep them focused on that little shit that they have down there. Because as long as they're fighting and going back and forth about that little shit, they won't even think about our shit.
Think about this. You got people saying that I'm scamming people and taking money from people and I'm living high off the hog off people. Then you got a government that allows AIG bigwigs to walk away with billion-dollar golden parachutes as the people that they represent went broke. So you got niggas making YouTube videos about me instead of that? You're seriously telling me that these people running for office who are millionaires before they run for office, who get all of this money to run for office, well, that's okay. But if somebody donate $200 to me, we need to investigate that shit. They're smart. They know if you keep people's eyes, why do you think they even allow that crap to go on that you see of all these dumbass YouTubers and dumbass regular people fighting all the time? Because they want you to keep your mind off the people who really raping you.
And they will do it even to the point to where they'll even fund it.
Yes.
They will fund it. They will fund.
Black Lives Matter is being funded, right? By George Soros, right? These damn gays are being funded, right? All of these damn crazy ass people to be able to get the mic, stand in front of the world and say, you should pay me attention. They're all being funded. Why?
Because it keeps the shit stirring. And that's exactly, because as long as somebody's stirring the shit pot, then everybody's gonna be like, "Who, do you smell that shit? Do you smell? Is that shit in that pot? Yeah, that shit over there in that pot." They'll keep it going. As long as that's stirring, that's what everybody gonna be focused on. Do you realize that people are talking about? You think about all the people that say, "Yeah, it's gonna be a race war. It's gonna be a race riot. We gonna have to go up against these white folks." And why would you want to go up against a bunch of white people that got just about the same you got or less? Why do you think it's important to go to war against them? Why do you think that would be something that should be at the forefront of your mind, is to say, we got to go stop these white folks that's living in these woods that hate us niggers? They don't care about you in the first place. Why would you care about them and what they're doing? As long as they're not at your front door, don't worry about them. It's not your fight. You need to worry about how the hell did those bankers, how the hell did those people at AIG, how the hell did they get a bonus after they fucked up the entire economy?
Thank you. How the fuck did you get bailout when you ran your company wrong? How did GM get a bailout when literally they were running the company wrong?
On purpose.
How was Toyota able to sit up there and decide that, well, we could fix these cars, but it'll cost this much? Or we could settle the lawsuits from the deaths resulting from this car crashing. We'll just deal with that. Caller, go ahead. Talk to us. This whole idea of these trannies being able to threaten people, saying, "I'm going to shut you down. If you don't enjoy gay stuff, we're going to shut you down." And they can succeed at it. A black man who can refer to black people as niggas all day, nothing happened. That black man called a person a faggot on his own damn time. This black man was boycotted by the industry. Then you look at Kobe Bryant. He said faggot, and we didn't even hear him say it. We just read his lips to when he said it to a dude. We know what he meant. He had to pay $500,000 for that. He didn't have to pay $500,000 for fucking with that white girl. Ask you the question, caller. Why do you think they have this kind of power?
I'm gonna tie it back to money. Like I'm gonna give you a quote from somebody who's been involved in this whole fraud. I call it fraud. You know, the whole Federal Reserve System.
Mm-hmm.
Amschel Rothschild. If the last name doesn't ring a bell, I want you to Google who they are. But his famous statement, "Let me issue and control a nation's money, and I care not who writes the laws." Right? I say that to lead into what you're talking about with Black Lives Matter being funded by people. It's about money, man. They understand that they can make money off the division, right? They can make money off of dividing the poor people. And what happens is when black people get mad at white people who it should be the people that have more than them, is misdirected towards the people who are on the same level as them. So you see what I'm saying? They use the money to create the illusion of that all white people have money when that's not the case. And it creates a diversion for poor people, poor black people, poor white people to go at each other's throats while they're in the background doing what you said they do, playing the entire country, man. Boom.
Hey, and somebody pointed out how you have all this mafia. Like you said, you have the gay mafia, you have the elitist mafia, you have the federal mafia, you have the Jew mafia. You have a lot of these people with a lot of power, and they gain that power by, like you said, well, you just gain the money. I keep telling people Jews are very few people, but they were smart enough to realize, well, we don't have to be president to be able to change policy. Think about it. And they were able to do it because they said it's easier to, if you really want justice, become a judge. If you really want to get the best medical care, why not have your people in charge of medicine? If you really want to control the laws, why not have your people in the law? Black people are too dumb to do this, and white people just have been told all the time they have everything, so they've stopped fighting for that thing. At the end of the day, the majority of us do not understand what we're fighting for. And the girl said the BP oil spill. Look at how they were able to get away with that shit. You forgive BP before you forgive CK, Colin Kaepernick. Think about that. Who the fuck is trying to boycott BP right now? BP got gas stations. Nobody gives a shit. BP destroyed the environment.
Cecil Rhodes Diamonds. The Cecil Rhodes Scholarship is named after a man who massacred a bunch of Africans. But nobody's saying nothing about that either, Tommy. Same case, man. These atrocities have been happening. There's only a few people that are willing to stand up and say something. And when those people do stand up to say something, everybody laughs and ridicules them. You can't get enough support from people who are trying to tell us what's going on.
So here's my thing, and this is my plan, or this is my perspective on this. I don't want y'all to say nothing. I don't want y'all to say shit. I don't want y'all to march in the streets. I don't want y'all to hold another protest banner. I don't want you to hold another goddamn rally. What I challenge y'all to do, what I challenge us to do, start by moving into one neighborhood and don't sell drugs. Start by policing yourself and becoming the police. Start by us becoming our own doctors. Start by us having our own grocery stores in our own neighborhoods. Start by us doing for us, as opposed to expecting the government to do right by us. If they ain't did it by now, they not gonna do it. This whole country was founded off of a smash and grab. It was founded on that. It was founded on saying a bunch of cats got together and said, we stronger than them and we smarter than them. Let's not ask them. Let's go take their shit. And that's what they did. Plain and simple. You can try to talk all this historical shit. Well, the Queen of England got together and they came over here and said, we're going to take this shit. And unless y'all stop us, it's ours.
Hell, look
they
at
didn't
them,
have shit to lose.
Look at them bitch-ass Young Turks. And thank you for the call. The bitch-ass Young Turks, they sit up there and want to talk about everybody doing bad. But you know what they don't speak about? How the Turks went through the Armenian genocide, where they tried to get rid of all of the Armenians. You don't even hear about it. How many of you guys even know what that is? Have you even heard this word?
I didn't even know about it.
Yeah, the Turks tried to kill off the Armenians.
It's the way that this world works, man. People talk about, and you talk about and this is one of the things that irks me about the pro-blacks that are here in our country. They talk about how Mother Africa is the heart and the jewel of the world, and this is where we came from, and we were once these great people. And what does that have to do with us functioning today in America? All of the natural resources and gold and all of those wonderful things that are over there in Africa, yes, it exists and it's there. However, we have no control over it. So why are we trying to focus on and get back to something that we don't control in the first damn place? If everybody packed up their shit and went back to Africa, you would be looked at as second-class citizens over there, and you wouldn't have shit. So why are you trying to push that down my throat? Look at where you are and where you at, and look at the rules and play by the rules to win. And when you play to win, that's how you get ahead. It ain't gonna come overnight, but that's how you make change. Look at all of the Indian doctors that you see now. It wasn't like that 30 years ago. All of the doctors were white. Now look at them. You got a bunch of Indian doctors. How did that happen? Because they came over here and said, you're going to be a doctor. And that was it. It wasn't no arguing. It wasn't no fighting. It's the same exact thing. You look at the LGBTQ thing.
Yep.
You look at that agenda. They are forcing it. They coming at it hard. They are not laying off of it. And if you don't say, okay, well, I see what they're doing. Let me make my own little niche. Let me get in my own lane and let me go hard on that.
All we do is sit around still talking about Black Wall Street. They burned it down if we try to build something. Well, last I heard, the Jews, when they tore down the fucking temple, what did they do? Build it back. They tore it down. They built it again. The thing is, who says they tore down our something? If people don't look up, I think it was 1905 up in San Francisco. There was this thing called an earthquake. You know what that earthquake did to San Francisco? Mm-hmm. Tore that motherfucker down. You know what they did? They built it back up. How about when I was in Oklahoma City? Remember when I was in this place called Moore, Oklahoma? I think it was 2012 or 13 when I was there. Remember I was running away from the tornado? I got in my car and I showed people I'm running from this thing. When I came back, you know what happened? That whole fucking place was level. You know what them motherfuckers did? They rebuilt it. We can't keep saying they tore down our shit in the 50s and 60s, but we refuse to build it in the 20s.
Right.
We have too much economic power to have that issue. But like you said, the gay people are realizing, well, what we'll do is we'll start having gay network programmers. We'll start having, get somebody correct me, 1906. Thank you. I was close. That let you know. I know a lot about history. I don't know why I know so much. I enjoy history. Because if you don't, it really is true. Those who don't know their history are doomed to repeat it. I really do believe this. When you look at where we have been and you look at where everybody else realized, you have to put your people in positions of power. Black people are the only people who do not believe this. We seem to not believe this. Gay people are doing it. That's why you can't talk about them. That's why you can say nigger on TV before you can say fag on TV.
Yep.
Fag is an act. That's what you do. Nigger is just literally your skin color and someone wants to give you this title. Do you understand that I would know you were a fag if I didn't see you or know you poked booty? But you can see I'm black when I walk through the door. Yet it's more offensive to say a word against a person who does an act than it is a person who was born that way. And nobody finds this odd.
And that in itself, it goes to show you that if you don't learn, and there's something like you said before, if you don't know your history, you're doomed to repeat it. There's a lesson to be learned in everything that you experience in life. And it's either one or two things. Either learn what to do or you learn what not to do. And if you look at the LGBT agenda, you can see that if you have the right people come together and you support each other and you support the cause and you support the agenda, you can get shit done. Obama had people talking about you go to school and you can use any bathroom you want. Do you know how crazy that sounds? But at the end of the day, he pushed it through.
That's what gay people do. They push through shit.
Well, they pack their way into things.
I couldn't help it. I couldn't help it. If a joke presents itself,
and make their way through, make their way in.
You know what I'm saying? If a joke presents itself, I'm making the joke. Go ahead.
Yeah. So it's like at the end of the day, that's the thing that you need to look at to see, well, okay, if it's not a thing of saying, well, they doing this and this ain't right. If they're doing it, look and say, well, how the hell are they getting this done? How the hell are they doing this? How the hell are all these things okay now, today, and they weren't 20 years ago? And it's the process. When you think about all of the things that have changed for us and that work against us, you look at the process and see how they did it and say, okay, this is what we need to do, as opposed to screaming about that ain't right. They doing us wrong and they forcing it. You let these people do what it is that they do, and you get your own agenda together and you get the right people and get the right people to support it, and you can do it too. And you can bring about change that way, where you can draw a clear line in the sand. Because at the end of the day, you don't hear nobody in the LGBT community going against Jews. As a matter of fact, you don't hear too many people going against Jews.
Nope.
Because they have a foothold and they have a stronghold on just about every aspect of this world. And basically, they're in a safe space.
Yeah, you ain't fucking with them like that. And I think, and listen, people think that like when I'm talking this way, they'll say, well, you're talking about Jews. I say, actually, no, I envy them. I think the Jewish model, the Jewish model is a model that everybody else, if they're smart, they would use that model. You don't go against someone who's shown success. They show success by raising their people, teaching their people. The one thing I love about a Jew, they don't wait on the fucking public school system to educate their children.
They educate them themselves.
Why would that not be common sense?
You talking about the people that had a mass genocide placed upon them.
Yep.
And at the end of the day, a lot of people don't realize this, but Hitler was a motherfucker, man, and he almost did it. He was close to taking over this shit.
Mm-hmm.
Real close. And it was like he had the support of a lot of different people
who are now claiming they're against it. Yep, who are now claiming they're against it. If you look back on history, a lot of people were backers of, including the Bush family, were backers of the whole movement of Nazism. Sorry, you can go back and try to rewrite history now. all you want to. But there are those of us who know it, and those of you who know it need to start telling other people and telling your kids. Do like the Jews do. Pass that shit down, because there are going to be Holocaust deniers all over the place. They're going to be, look what we're dealing with as black people. These people done got to the point where they're trying to deny the shit out of racism, segregation, Jim Crow, and slavery altogether.
Yep.
You got people rewriting slavery to make it seem like it was like a picnic, like it was just fun between two groups of people, like it was role play. Like
they wanted to come over here. They got in their fancy boats and they sailed over here for a picnic with the Indians, and they just made friends, and then they went and helped us and worked for us.
I remember as a kid, I never knew there was any type of genocide against the Indians here. Because as a kid, when we were in school, how did they make us dress up? You dress up as turkeys. You dressed up as pilgrims. It was such a great and joyous time. When I first heard that they killed the people, I was like, I did not know this.
Yep. Say, when was the last time when you want to tell the truth? Show me the play at the grammar school where the white people are bringing them the disease blankets.
Right.
Here, take these blankets. Let's tell the truth. Damn it.
You know,
but it's like, when you just look at that whole thing, you remember like how they tried to like discount slavery. They tried to do that shit with the Holocaust a few years back. If you recall, maybe about 10 or 15 years ago, tried to say, well, it's speculation that the Holocaust didn't exist. Those concentration camps weren't what people thought it was. And those old Jews came together and said, you see this goddamn tattoo on my arm? Don't you never try to discount what I went through or what those that before me that died that didn't make it. They shut all that shit down. It's like, okay, we're sorry, guys. We won't talk about that anymore. And you ain't heard nothing else about it.
And that's what I'm saying. So you got to look and think about where we are. So when we're talking about this gay agenda, I'm telling you guys, I'm offended because I should have every right to be able to say, I don't want a gay son. I had a woman call my show last night, and you probably heard it, who said, I wouldn't wish this life on my worst enemy, because what she was trying to elicit is sympathy. And that's what I'm tired of. I'm sick of gays trying to equate their struggle to being black. That shit is that thing right there make me want to slap a bitch, nigga.
Gay has become the new black.
Mm-hmm. And they really are going around trying to act like motherfuckers went to Gaytopia and put them on boats and shipped them over to America, made them work on juggling balls and stroking shafts. Like that's all they did. When there was a shaft need stroking, they brought the people from Gaytopia, and if there's some balls need juggling, they brought them, and they treated them horrible. They put brands on them, and you know they hung them, or well they let them deal with people who were hung. It was a little bit different with the gays. When you said the gays were hung like the blacks were hung, but it's a little bit different, but kind of the same. Anyway, but what happened was they tried to make it seem like we had the exact same thing. Yes, you Jews were almost exterminated. So were we gays. Yes, you Armenians were done. Like they talk like this, and we as people are letting them say it, and we know this shit is bullshit, but they're getting it through. I'll give you the answer of why do you think they're getting it through before I go to the phone lines again.
Because in our society, if you play victim, then that's how you get the attention. If you can get a good amount of propaganda out there to support your cause, and you can play the victim, then what that victimhood does, it keeps the opposition away. It keeps those from that want to challenge you to say, well, wait, why do you think it's this, or why do you guys do that? No, we don't want you to question nothing we do, because we victims. We're just trying to make it back and trying to become who we want to be and trying to live our lives like everybody else. So don't question us and don't come up against us or say anything negative to us, or you're the bad guy.
The fact that you can't even have the discussion, though, or you're the bad guy. Somebody in the chat room said, you guys are homophobic. The fuck? I'm not afraid of no damn. I'm more afraid of a ghost than I am afraid of a gay. I ain't afraid of no gay.
At the end of
gay fuckers. I ain't afraid of no gay. If there's something strange in the Netherlands, what you gonna call? Gay fuckers. Them gay fuckers.
Gay busters.
You know what I'm saying?
At the end of the day, I can care less of who you decide to sleep with. If another guy or another girl wants to sleep with you and that's what you want to do, it doesn't have any effect on me. It's fine with me. My thing is that if you want to have understanding, you have to be willing to have a discussion, and it has to be a discussion that's fair, where you can hear both sides. And if I say something that's offensive to you, you can't make that my intention. And that is what people have problems with. And not just this aspect, but in relationships, period. If I say something that you don't like that may offend you, you can't necessarily expect, or you can't necessarily make that my intention, because I may be asking you a question and I may be ignorant to what it is that I'm asking you, or in the way I'm asking you, I could be doing it in an ignorant manner, which just simply means I don't know how to ask that question. And the fact that I'm asking you something, or I'm having a discussion with you, and what I'm saying is offensive, that should be your opportunity as the more enlightened one to explain to me what it is that you are trying to say, or what it is you would want for me to understand about you. If a white person comes up to me and says, why can't I say the N-word, or why can't I say nigger? You have it in your raps, you have it in your movies. Why can't I say the word nigger? I'm not the black dude that's gonna say, you motherfucker, you can't call me no nigger. I'm not that dude. I'm gonna say, well, do you really want to have this conversation? Yeah, I do. That's why I'm asking you this question. Okay, well, let's sit down and we can have a conversation. So first and foremost, I can explain to them, but I don't take what that person has asked me as the intention of them trying to offend me and piss me off and disrespect me. And that's what we do, because we are so emotional in what it is that we let what we feel control our actions. And you can't do that when you're trying to be a better person, and you're trying to be a better society, and you're trying to make people understand where you're coming from.
I agree 1,000%. Let's see if we can go to some more of the phone calls. We want to deal with some people who see what I'm saying to be wrong. I honestly and I had not spoken to Brian before this, but we see it kind of the same, that right now the agenda of homosexuality and everything that comes along with it is being pushed. When that person tried to tell me I can't call the transsexual a tranny, when the person tried to tell me I can't refer to Aaron as Aaron, but he wanted to refer to me as Mr. Harris, whom an individual I do not know at all, but he wanted me to refer to this man as a female when he still got a big ass cock, but I'm still supposed to refer to him as a female because he stuck on a fucking wig and shaved himself. That's it. Remember that the motherfucker didn't do nothing else. That's it. Remember this. You had people say, or not people say, an actual award was given for Woman of the Year to Bruce Jenner because he changed his name to Caitlyn, and he threw on a dress and wore makeup. He did not change shit. Mm-hmm. He didn't get no breast implants. This motherfucker didn't get his wing wong cut off. He literally just wore a dress and makeup, and he became the Woman of the Year. And the nigga wasn't even a woman for a year. Make that make sense? So that's my problem with it. You are pushing shit on people. You can't even say Caitlyn Jenner is ugly without being told you're a homophobe. What the fuck kind of shit is this?
And in the midst of that, murdered somebody.
Right. We don't act like that don't exist. As a matter of fact, if you ever notice, the one thing that the media does not cover is gay murders. Gay murderers, they hold out the fact, just like with black criminals. Now they're told you can't say the criminal is black, so they try to sneak it in now. But we don't have as much power as the gays do, because the gays have made it seem like gays don't commit crimes. I'm dead ass. How many people even think about gays and crime in the same sentence?
Yep.
They always show them in movies as what? Happy. You rarely see the gay murderer. Why not? Just like on the motherfucking commercial for home protection. You never see a black burglar. I went to the gun range. You know they had a motherfucking Muslim I could shoot at? But they had no nigga. They had a white man. They had a Muslim. They had a damn zombie I could shoot at. But they didn't have no damn nigga to shoot at. Why not?
Because people say that's racist.
Why
And at the end of the day, I would probably want to condition myself to be more inclined to shoot a nigga because I'm more likely to shoot a nigga than a white person.
Right. I'm more likely
the
to get
reality of it.
approached in a violent manner by someone that looks
Yes.
like me. But you can't let me shoot somebody that look like me. I can't shoot a tranny. Why is there? If trannies want equal rights, there should be a damn tranny you can shoot at. If women want equal rights, there should be a shit ton of women you can shoot at. You should be able to go up there because you fucking about to go through a divorce and pick that woman target. I'm gonna shoot this bitch. But no, you can shoot the shit out of a white man and a motherfucking Muslim, no.
Yep. And at the end of the day, it's like I wouldn't, as long as here's my thing. It's offensive when it's only a black target that you got to shoot at.
Right.
When you got the whole array, if I can shoot at an Asian, a Hispanic, a white person, black person, then hey man, it's all on what you choose to pick. Because I can care less of if a white guy is shooting at all black targets, I can care less. Because if I want to, I can shoot at all white targets.
Thank you.
So that doesn't matter. And it doesn't make that person a bad person. It just makes them say, hey, this is what I want to shoot at. Plain and simple. And if I don't like black people, then I really get to shoot at black people. I'm going to shoot at it. That's what you get to do. That's your right as an American. I don't like white people. I'm going to shoot at white targets.
You know what white
That's
people
your
have
right if that's what you
substituted
wanna
since they
do.
know they couldn't have black targets? You know what they substituted for it?
What?
Watermelons. You think I'm lying? If you go to almost all them white gun people channels, what are they shooting? Watermelons.
Yeah.
You think I'm
No
lying?
more.
They do it on purpose. Y'all don't pay attention. White people slick. White people know that other white people go get what they saying because they know. They be like, well, fuck it. Since we can't shoot niggas, we'll shoot watermelons. And you know what we say about watermelons.
We're going to shoot these nigga apples. That's what we're going to shoot.
It took me a second. I said, wow, all these people shoot these damn watermelons.
Oh, man. They say, boy, these white folks, they growing a whole patch of watermelons. I really like them. Mm-hmm. We sure do, buddy.
They gonna fuck around and start shooting buckets of chicken. You gonna know what's up there. Shoots
Why the hell
KFC.
they shooting at these KFC buckets?
They start
shoot at
shooting
KFC
basketballs.
And 40-ounce bottles of Old English. What the hell are they doing? What is this about? Is this the new gun range? That's a hillbilly gun range. Watermelon, buckets of KFC, and 40 ounces of Old E.
Oh god! And let's see if we can answer some more phone calls. 410, you're on the line. Talk to us.
Hey, Tommy, how you doing?
Doing well. How are you? You got to talk to my man Brian on the line with us.
Ryan, I'm sorry about
Hey,
that. I was
what's
there.
happening?
I just couldn't remember. This is my first time on the Guru and the Whore.
Yes.
Congratulations.
So I've subscribed. This is Millie from Baltimore. I've called a couple times. I don't know if you remember, my son was the one that they were kind of discriminating against, where some girls held him down and made out with him. And
Yes, I remember that phone
call.
call.
Or any of that.
Yep. I remember that phone call.
So things ended up going our way. Anyways, that was totally with that agenda. I remember standing in a room with all these women that I knew were feminists, that I knew were looking at me like, fuck your son.
Wow.
And, yeah, like, seriously, they were, like, looking at me like I was nuts because I was upset about this. And I said, how can you sit here and not say this is sexual harassment? If my son and one of his friends held down a girl, and my son was 8 years old at the time, one of the girls was 9, and the other one was just turned 9. So they were older girls, and when you're that young, that's a big difference. And I'm sorry, I'm trying to get everything straight.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, take your time.
I remember standing up, and my husband was there, and I got so upset because I was like, how can you say this is not sexual harassment? My son had done this with one of his friends, especially if he was older. He would have been suspended. No doubt about it. And this is this feminist agenda, this gay agenda, it's a very real thing. It's not a joke. I mean, there's the fat agenda too, which is a whole another thing. But there's this hive mind mentality where you can't go against it. It's like you don't have a mind of your own. I mean, you've seen it with the girl last night and the guy that you were talking to today. It's almost like common sense does not make any sense to them. You can try your best to use examples, and you will be completely logical. And they'll be, nope. I can call you by your name, but how dare you call that thing by anything else than what it wants to be called?
Thank you. Listen, let me ask you something. We aren't allowed to reject. I'm going to say it. I know this going to come back on me. I'll probably be on Huffington Post tomorrow. They're liars by nature. And for us to say anything else about them in itself is a lie. Transsexuals are liars by nature. The whole idea of them being a transsexual is for them to try and fool you into believing that there's something they're not. Because if that were not the case, then they wouldn't have a problem with having to have that scarlet letter on them. So you know, I like trannies. This is a tranny. The fact that they want the ability to be able to hide this from you. And women should be upset because they're constantly trying to compete with you. They're constantly trying to act like they're just as good of women as you are. And then they're using science to make it to where they actually can compete with you. As a woman, let me ask you, do you not find this offensive?
Well, see, technically it's a mental illness, and there's a lot of pretenders nowadays because it's almost fashionable, but it is a mental illness. And if you think back, we didn't have these problems even up until the 80s because we still had, asylums were horrible, and I'm not saying asylums are great, but we had places for these people. They weren't just out running the streets acting like fools. And I know that sounds horrible and mean, but it's the freaking truth. If you watch some of these Antifa motherfuckers, they're insane, and they're all a part of that whole agenda. It doesn't really threaten me. I'm a married woman with kids, and I know my value. But in the cities and stuff, you can't tell them apart. You cannot tell a transgendered man, woman. I guess it'd be a woman at that point.
Black women should be the most
a regular woman.
Black women should be the most offended because you look at the numbers.
You can't.
The most that's coming out dressing up like that are literally black.
And here's what proves and solidifies
Let me
that
ask you
point.
this. I apologize. I needed to say this because last night it was driving me crazy with that girl. Did you hear how she said she needs to teach that her kids that it's okay to come out? Like she expects her kids to come out first.
Thank you.
And then she said, Lord forbid if it's a male. The way she said that made me want to throw my stuff because I was waiting to talk. I was so angry and I was shaking when I heard her say that because I have a son. And I talk to my son, and I tell him, once you get into middle school, I don't want you to believe none of that bullshit they teach you. You pass your test, but you are going to read the history books that we have.
Yep. I tell my daughter, question everything.
You are not being indoctrinated. You are not being indoctrinated with this bullshit because it's an agenda. The government has control over everything at this point. Unless your kid is, and I wish so much that we could afford private school. Me and my husband work so hard, and we wish that we could, but we can't, So the best thing that I can do is teach him.
Yep.
That's your job at the end of the day. That's what you're supposed to do. But it's like the thing is this: when you look at what Black women do as far as when it comes to them being responsible and accountable to their actions, and then when you look at other black women who lack that, who don't hold those women and their fellow black women responsible and accountable to their actions, and you cross that over into what a transgender male, how a transgender male behaves, they don't want to be responsible or be held accountable for their actions. Because at the end of the day, when you talk about being something that you are not, or you have the illusion of being something that you are not, if that's who you think you ultimately are, if you think that you are a woman trapped in a man's body, and you're that confident in it and that sure about it, then you would be the first to tell somebody that you're interested in, somebody that you want to be intimate with. You would have that up at the forefront of who you are. Because at the end of the day, that's ultimately who you are. If I'm a man and I'm trapped in a woman's body, and the minute I'm with a woman, I would be more than happy to tell her who I am when I want to be intimate with that person. When you look at like somebody was posting in here before about RuPaul, one thing you can say about RuPaul is just as much as you see him dressed up as a woman in drag, you would see him dressed up as a dude. So he was not trying to hide who he was, and he wasn't trying to be under that cover. He would come out and be who he was. Sometimes he feel like a nut, sometimes he don't. I'm just saying.
For him, it was a job.
So exactly. So when you talk about somebody else who is putting on the makeup, putting on the wig, putting on the fake butt implants, putting on the fake breast implants, and they're doing the tuck, the junk in between the legs, when they're doing that,
it's like Tom Brady in the Oakland game, and they got the tuck rule.
Yeah, exactly. When you want to go out and do that and be in society, that's your right to do that. I ain't knocking it. Right. However, when you in the club and you in the VIP and you up in the corner on the dance floor and that dude is grinding on you, rubbing on you because he thinks that you are a woman, if you are truly what you say you are, you would whisper in that dude's ear and let him know what it is that you are.
Yep.
And at the end of the day, that dude that gets that information on that dance floor, he ain't gonna sit on you. He ain't gonna beat you because he don't want nobody else to know. Right. He gonna back up off of you and say, you know what, my man, I'm gonna let you go on ahead and do you, and I'm gonna go on over here to the other side and have me another drink because my world just got turned upside down. That's what a real dude is gonna do. But no, you wait till he get to your hotel room after you've been rubbing on his dick in the Uber all the way over to this hotel, and then after you suck his dick and he wanna hit the pussy, now you gonna say, oh, I ain't got one of them. It's like you can't do that. And that's the false narrative that you are putting out there. And then when somebody challenges you on it, now they're a phobe, they're a hater, and then they are bashing you. That's bullshit.
Go ahead, young lady. You get the last word.
What's sad is this is a game for some of these transgendered people, and what's scary is this is how they die. This is how, because that's some PTSD shit for some men. Like, seriously. And then they get the shit kicked out of them, and in some cases they die. And it's not a fucking joke. It's nothing to fuck around with. And the people who are really transgender hate this shit. They're looking at this younger generation, and they're like, they are and it's all about socialism. They are trying to turn us into a socialist society so that it's not even funny. And they're using every kind of, like, this, if they can rile you up and get your panties in a twist and fund you, sort of, all the way. I mean, they will. And it's sad.
Yeah.
It's really sad.
It is. Hey, thank you so much for the phone call. That was an awesome call. All of you guys have been awesome. I actually want to speak to some people who disagree with me or disagree with our stances on this. That would be cool too. But what I'm going to do is,
please.
Yeah, I'm going to bring in 872. That's my man out of the Chi-Town. What up, D?
Give me a second. I'm trying to get this.
Hello? Yes, sir.
Yeah. I took the Bluetooth off. Hey, man. Number one, yes, there is an agenda. I agree with what you said earlier about they're making the gay the new black plight, because I got mad about that about 3 years ago. Like, legitimately pissed because I heard somebody say that.
Yep.
And that kind of riled me a little bit. There's an air of stupidity. There's a purposeful stupidity. Like, you can check out an 8th grade test, like the test you would take to get out of 8th grade from 1917, 100 years ago, and you will, and I swear to God, I can't pass it. They're not teaching the same shit. They don't want you aware. There's a school of thought that says they want you just smart enough to run the machines and just dumb enough to take the pills, drink the drink, and watch television.
Mm-hmm. They want you just smart enough to run the machines, but not smart enough to build them.
Yep.
Right. So as long as there's somebody, you buy the products. You buy the products, it's all right. That's South Park has I don't know if it was season 19 or 18, they did a thing where the ads were coming to life, but they make the ad. There's a whole story. It's a running story through the whole season. It's one of the first times they did that. But one of the conclusions they make in the ads are coming to life, the ads are invading you, is that things are being made PC. The guy who said he was PR for the lady, there's a quotation mark, you didn't see that. The guy who said he was PR for, I don't remember her name. He mentioned PC a bunch of times and equated PC to being professional and kept trying to, if not shame, but definitely entice you into going with the PC narrative so that everything that is PC is easily advertised upon. You've spoken. He did a little research. You've spoken about not being owned by a network. You're not owned by a network, so you get to say what you want to. So your following is as big as the people who agree with you, and that's enough to support your channel plus what you do. There are other people who are dumber than you, and they don't have your opinions, and they're upset that they're doing the channel and they're speaking what's in their minds, and nobody's agreeing with them and donating to them. That speaks to your personal, but it's exactly in line with the fact that they want us dumber, and it's working.
Well, let me ask you this question about the homosexual agenda. Have you noticed that in the black community, the majority of black chicks who will call you a faggot or gay, their best friend is some gay man?
Yeah.
Is that not sending a mixed message?
Yep.
If homosexuality is so bad, why are you? No, I'm just saying. I'll elaborate. If homosexuality is so bad, why do you surround yourself with people who live that lifestyle? That would be like me saying crack is bad, but my friends.
Wrong question.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
You're asking the wrong question. It's not that the lifestyle is bad. You're supposed to perceive it's bad when I call it to you. Sorry, you're supposed to perceive it's bad when I call it to you. If you were smart enough to think, well, if fags are bad, ain't your homeboy a fag?
Yeah.
Like,
it used to be.
While you were going through the conversation a little earlier, and you were talking with that lady about how transsexuals are a man that feels like a woman's body. And I'm sorry, the guru. I'm sorry I didn't speak to you. But
yeah, no worries, man. I'm just saying to your point, what you were saying.
You would tell people that I'm a man trapped in a woman's body. I knew a guy who was like that in high school. And I was sitting there thinking about a conversation I had with a chick about that guy, and she used to hang out with him. And he was really, genetically, that was him. You understand? When he came to school, he was dressed to the nines. He was the flyest motherfucker you'd ever seen. He spent money on clothes. He bought hair shit. He was a feminine motherfucker. He was one of the cheerleaders. That was an effeminate dude. And he is now Sydney Star. I get that. Last week I went to, people who are in Chicago might know where Logan Square is. I went to Logan Arcade. After they closed up, I went over to Belmont, to Boys Town.
So that Sydney Star is a real dude. That was a joke. That's a real dude.
No, Sydney Star is a dude. He didn't have surgery, but he is a dude.
Sydney Star is a dude named Steven, something or other. I went to high school with him. But when he was like your cousin, the homeboy you said died. I'm sorry, I can't remember the story. But you said if he'd ever come out with a dress on and the makeup and the wig and chop the thing off, you'd have been not surprised. Nobody was surprised to know that Sydney Starr is a chick, except for one dude again I know in high school who found himself at a club hooked up with him, and somebody had to whisper in his ear, "Hey, that's Steven."
Yeah. So it's like what you were saying as far as like just how black women use that term, calling us gay or calling men gay or faggots, whatever the case may be. When we were young, and this is something that came about as a kid, one of the worst things that you could be called was gay or faggot because you didn't want to be associated with that. And that was back in my time when little boys that were feminine, they were so few and far and in between that it was so rare that you didn't want to be associated with it. Over time, black women have tried to keep that going. They've tried to keep that going by saying that, oh, you gay, and that's a bad thing. Most dudes are more accepting of a gay man than I would say than most women. They make it a negative thing. Most dudes know how to be like, hey, you gay, that's you over there, and you do your thing. Just as long as you're not bringing it my way, I'm cool with it. And it's like there are a lot of gay dudes.
What you guys said earlier, that men are more logical. I was saying earlier that the faggot as an insult supports that you not look at the person who is around that person to rely to accept it as an insult. You have to be dumb enough not to ask that question of why. Because I asked the question of why, and not as much to have a conversation with him, but when I saw him, like, is he really a dude, or is he just trying to pretend like this shit so he can hang out with these chicks? I actually thought that for a second, and just observed the motherfucker.
At the end of the day, men are more confident in who they are than women are. And when you call a dude gay, most of the time it don't even affect us because we know if we gay or not. And if we not gay, we don't care. Look at how many people call Tommy gay. That shit don't bother Tommy. People call you gay. You gay. That's why you acting. You must be gay. We don't get riled up and be like, oh, bitch, I ain't gay. I ain't no faggot. I ain't gay. We don't do that. We be like, get out of here, bitch. A woman is more inclined to be upset over herself being called out her name or being called something she's not than a dude is. They just try to perpetuate it as an insult, but we don't even care. We really don't. Most men do not care about being called gay or a faggot
because we know we've been called some of anything. Men, we have to deal with whatever you say to us. If you think about it, we get called broke when we're not. We get called little dick and we got 12 inches. After a while, you start to realize as a man, because you're a man, they fuck with you and say anything. So you cannot let that stop you from moving forward. What do you think about that, D?
That's exactly who men are. That's exactly what masculinity should be. That's exactly the type of stuff they're at war with. There's a guy, he publishes a lot of Patrice O'Neal. He's a dead comedian. He did a radio show called The Cult of Black Phillip, in which he talks about how men have to do things a certain way where women are more free to do things another way, i.e. his woman, while he was courting, I guess you could call it, she was at his house with a T-shirt on and bent over in front of the TV, revealing all of her hind parts, in which he's a comedian. He has to think different.
Oh, you talking about my man Dante? You talking about my man Dante Nero?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. There's no way he, as a man, could show his nutsack to a woman as an enticement, and it worked. While she, if she does this to you, any woman, if she does something like that to you, and you don't immediately jump on it, you are not only called gay, but there's reason to think about you are gay.
So that's that to my point is saying, like, you have to realize that when you get to that point and you understand what it is that you are, who you are, all of that extra shit that people try to put on you, we let it roll off our back, because at the end of the day, we are born the way that we are born and come up as young men. we have to get thick skin. We have to. We can't afford to let those words affect us and cripple us and demean us, because we'll get to the point to where we won't even be able to exist because of that. However, the women, they get it to the point to where it actually changes and shapes them and makes them become something that they are not, which is why most black women aren't anything but sheer shells of who they used to be. That's why they change their hair. That's why they throw on tons of makeup. That's why they do those things, and they want to get their butts enlarged and their breasts enlarged, because they are so self-conscious about who they are and their self-image that it takes them to that place to where they don't like themselves, literally.
Well, see, you're going further negative. I'm sorry. You're going way further, not going to say negative, but in a direction I don't think it needs to go, because even a healthy woman is not used to rejection. A healthy woman who has mentally healthy, with the positive upbringing in middle-class home, they're not going to be used to rejection if they look like anything. So that type of rejection can still happen to, if it happens to them. Again,
that's not true, because if you are a person who is confident in themselves and you have, factual evidence that shows something different, what one or two people may say, or what a certain group or class of people may say, it won't affect you to the point to where you will go out and change. Just like how when you take a white girl or a white woman that comes from an affluent neighborhood with both parents and is in a stable household, and you got some black girls saying, oh, that white bitch, she just easy, or that white bitch, she over there, she just get run over by niggas, that's why dudes like her. She gonna look like, yeah, okay, you can say that all you want, black girl, but I got plenty of dudes that say the opposite. So she won't be necessarily affected by that.
Well, if you think about it, most of these women do that. Like and I don't want to go too far away from the subject, but most women do that idea of they don't want to change or compete. They want to make you feel bad for what you like. Men don't do that. Men don't make you feel bad that you like a man with money. Men don't make you feel bad that you like an athlete. Men don't make you feel bad that you like whatever the fuck it is you like. We understand that you like that, and we then try to conform or either ride in our lane. Women will try to shame you out of things that they themselves know they wish they had. That's why you'll see fat women try to shame you out of skinny women, and at the same time, what will they be on? A fucking diet.
Yep. Oh, girl, men won't meat. You ain't got no meat on your bones. What kind of shit is that?
To get back to the subject,
you look like you smoking crack.
About with your conversation with the recent transgender individual, equated with something said by T.S. Madison, that they saw the female image, they respected the female image in their home, they were surrounded by the female energy, and they decided to go toward the female side of humanity. That is also can be seen with that lack of rejection by females if you're a guy coming up, because that then you see in I don't know how to put the sexual market, you get to be the prey rather than the hunter or the pursuer. The prey's job is relatively easier, especially since if you boil all the things the man's looking for down to a woman, is to be an object of desire. Now, if you can pull that stunt off, then you can get all of this man's resources while you work for just as much as your makeup and dress. Maybe the breast implants, and like you said, they're going through other means to get to the penisectomy. Do you see how that can happen? Where it looks not just more respectable to be a woman, not more socially positive to be a woman, but even easier.
I guess I would say, I'm not going to say that no, that's not possible. That's not true. But I think that the whole dynamic of who and what a woman is, or what a woman should be, whatever the case, or whatever you want to call it, it's like the agendas are different. So the agenda of your average black woman that don't have no career, that don't have no goals, that don't really have anything, is different from a black woman that does have a career, that does have goals, that is trying to become something. She's not totally relying upon her looks and her body to get her the things that she wants to have in life, a stable household, to have a financially stable life. She's not sacrificing that. Whereas you have
well, we're not talking about them. We're talking about the subject last night. What made me think of this was that our single mothers adding to the transgender population.
One more time.
Tommy did a show last night. I'm not sure if I'm getting the title right.
No, you were right.
The question was: is transgenders are single mothers adding to the transgender population?
I didn't hear that. It cut off.
No, yes, and
you see how I said if they see that a woman can be the prey and be sought after by multiple men who is tossing resources at the woman, it is now easier in the sexual market if nowhere else.
Yes, it's easier to be. I'm sorry, it's easier to be a female, and now that they've made, but that isn't what you build with, and they've done it. Remember, we've conditioned everybody to want to do things that are easy. We've conditioned everyone to want to be given something. The majority of these young girls believe they'll be given something. And they'll work their ass off to be given something. They'll work their ass off to go out and get this fake butt, fake breast. They'll suck. You know, I had a woman suck my dick to buy weave. That's how bad you need weave?
I was trying to go into a story from last week. I went from Logan to Boystown, and while I was waiting, smoking a cigarette outside the restaurant before I went in, I remembered the spectacle that Belmont and Clark on a Saturday night is, because somebody came by me that was obviously a man, but had a blouse on and a skirt and was carrying a purse with this blonde wig and was on the way to or from the fucking club. And I said, and I had a memory of, and this what made me think of the sexual resources thing last night. There's a memory, I was dancing at a bar, and I go outside to smoke a cigarette, and I see this transgender, I swear to God, this is a transgender whore. I've seen her take other folks in the alley. I see her today, and she's got her shirt off because she just got her breast implants in, and she's showing everybody on Belmont her titties. I said,
yeah, but you in Boys Town though.
No, I'm not surprised that I said this. I forgot the spectacle it was because I had been up that way a couple of years. But that's as accepting as I was of it at that time. That was a few years ago, and I remember the Night Court episode from the '80s where Dan got caught in the elevator with the gay guy, and the attitude at the end of it was like, "All right, you do you." And I thought that's where we are with the gay agenda until, like I said, 3 or 4 years ago when I heard somebody said the gay plight is to be equated with the black plight in America. I said, "Oh."
And I want to say this, and first off, I want to say thank you for the phone call. I'm going to see if I can bring in some more people, and I'm at a point.
One more thing.
Go ahead.
One more thing. Please do that story in honor of Battle Cat I sent you about Mona Lisa and Pedro.
That dumbass bitch that shot that dude while doing a YouTube prank.
Yeah, it was a stunt, yeah.
Do you know people are feeling sorry for her, but if a dude if it had been the other way around, that dude shot her, they would have never had any sympathy for him. That's why I really am starting to just hate women.
That's why I want you to do the story, because she was supposed to be in court on the 5th after her bond. She posted bond. She's supposed to be in court on the 5th. The judge who was supposed to hear the case abdicated. And I ain't heard shit else about it since the 5th. It's August.
I really.
The story real quick.
Mm-hmm.
There's Mona Lisa and Pedro at the Small Town Life. They got a 3-year-old. They got a YouTube channel where they show up the Small Town Life. They got a problem. They say the views are plateauing. Pedro says, this is according to all the information we got so far. There's a school of thought that says she killed this man.
I believe that.
Pedro says, I got an idea. You're going to shoot me in the chest, and I'm going to catch the bullet with this book. Now, this has happened before with somebody called a 380 with a textbook at the Virginia Tech student. So it's possible. But he said, instead of using the 380 or the 9mm or the 22 short round, I want you to fire an anti-tank round at me from the world's most overpowered handgun, the Desert Eagle 50 cal.
Anti-tank, yeah.
Yes, that's what it is.
30 of their friends and neighbors to come watch this shit, and nobody said shit.
Yeah.
First off, here's what you gotta do. You gotta do. This bitch could miss. Who does this? This bitch is not a sharpshooter. Like, none of this makes sense. If you watch The Crow, bitch.
She's played with the guns before, so she's familiar with the guns. That's how she hit the book. So they both been out shooting. He has a bunch of guns. They got a couple. She knows guns.
I don't give a fuck if she knows Bo. Because Bo knows everything.
Bo don't know diddly.
You know what I'm saying? Bo don't know 50 cows. Like, no, you're not shooting me with this. And for YouTube views, that's the dumbest shit ever. And I still believe she killed that man. But I'm mad that they are trying to be sympathetic towards that girl when they would never be sympathetic towards
You're mad at this. I didn't know it was a question until 2 weeks ago when I was telling the story around my job, and one of the ladies that works at the paint desk at a home improvement store, when given the question, do you think she should go to jail? She said no. I said why? She said it was his idea. Now, upon hearing this, my brain went off with the epiphany that one, for her to stand up behind this defense, we have to sacrifice all of Mona Lisa's sensibilities and sanctions and discernment of our own, and say she did this because her baby daddy / boyfriend said do it, and she was following orders like a good wife. She got to do that first. So no feminism shit at all, ever, period. So two, if I could find this person, I might be able to find another one. If I could find another one, I might be able to find 5. If I could find 5, I could definitely find 7. If we can find 7, we can get this bitch off for first-degree manslaughter in 10 years.
That's what they do. That's the whole point behind it. So, yeah, I'm going to do that story. Thank you, brother, so much for the phone call. Hey, guys.
Have a good night.
Good night. Hey, here's what I'm going to do, guys. If you're watching live, of course, it's not going to stop. But on the replay, right here, we're going to tell you to go and click the link in the description box and go to part 2 of the show. Hello, everyone. We're back for part 2.
And we're back.
You know what I'm saying? Wait. Got to redo it.